I'm Diane Amelia Reed, advisor and career development teacher at the Adult Learning Center. And I want to tell you about 3 things related to interviews: before, during, and after. Before an interview, you want to do some prep. You want to research the company that you're going to be interviewing with. Now, the easiest way to do this is just Google the company, and instead of Googling all, click the little button that says news. See what's happening in the company, see what's interesting. And of course, this is for larger companies, but check it out with smaller companies too. Be informed about what's important to them and what the company vibe is all about, maybe what their mission is. Know something about the company, because it's very likely that they will ask you, why do you want to work for this company? And once you know a little bit more about the company, you can be clear. Well, I really like the company's philosophy about the way they treat the environment, or whatever is important to you. You're going to have that knowledge in your back pocket because you did your homework. Also, you can say, oh, I know you're expanding and I really want to contribute to that. Do your homework. If you know the name of the person you're going to be interviewing with, do your homework on them too. Maybe you have something in common, and so you can have more of a conversation and kind of get off on a good foot. So these are some things to do before the interview. Also, if it's old school and you're going in person, do a test run at the same time of day. So like if you're going to interview at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, go however you're going to get there. If it's by driving or taking the bus, go there at the same time on Monday. See how long it takes you, because one thing you do not want to be for your interview is late. Not a good thing. Okay, so before, you're going to map your route, you're going to do your research, and you're ready. Okay, so now it's interview time. Couple of things I want you to remember. First is this: an interview is not an interrogation. You're allowed, and in fact, encouraged to ask questions. So don't just, yes, I did this, I did that, here's my experience. Ask questions. They need an employee, you need a job. The conversation is to see, do we have a match? Okay, so remember that you can ask questions. Take a notepad, and be serious. It's like, I've got some questions, and jot down the answers. Speaking of questions, when it gets to the end of the interview, they will undoubtedly say, do you have any questions for me? The one thing you never want to say is, no, I think you covered everything. Have a question in your back pocket. Now, what can that be? That can be maybe, what are next steps in the hiring process? Do you have a timeline for making a decision? Maybe they've covered that. So you could say, do you mind just telling me what your path was to get to this job? How have you been with the company for long, or how did you get here? Did you work your way up, or did you come from another company? You can ask the interviewer questions. Have some in your back pocket. Again, you can Google this. You can Google questions for the interviewer and get some things that you can have, again, at the ready, so that when they say, do you have any questions for me? You can say, yeah, as a matter of fact, I have a couple. Okay, so those are 2 important things, and I'm going to do another quick vid on commonly asked questions in an interview, but this is before you're doing your homework, during, not an interrogation, and yes, you absolutely have questions for the interviewer, and then afterwards, because you are a class act, you're going to send a thank you note. Now, as that interview is wrapping up, if it's in person, you can ask for a business card. That's a great way to get their contact information, to get the correct spelling of their name, their title, and then you're maybe even going to have with you like a blank card, and you're just going to write a little note. Put today's date, the day of the interview on it, and thank that interviewer for their time, This is a great opportunity for you to say something along the lines of, after this interview, I'm even more convinced that the position with Acme Company is a really good fit for me and I would love to contribute. I look forward to hearing from you. You want to thank them for their time. If there was something you had in common, mention that. I loved talking about fishing with you, or I loved comparing lipstick colors because we both like Revlon, or whatever it is. You know, mention that in your little thank you note and get that thing in the mail. Now, can you do a thank you by email? Yeah, you can. But most people get a ton of emails. Getting something in the mail, old school, like a card that you open from an envelope, that is special. Now, is that going to get you a job? Nope. But it's going to have you remembered favorably. You are the person that took the time. You are the person who had that little extra social grace to say thank you. And that will be remembered. So whether or not you get the job, what you don't know is how this is going to trickle forward, because maybe there's a job opening in another department, and this person you've just spoken with didn't hire you, but they turn to their colleague and say, oh my gosh, I had this great candidate. You know, it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but you should really speak with him or with her, because what a class act, smart, capable, definitely on top of things, just because you sent that thank you note. So that's it. Your before, your during, your after. Quick review before. What are you going to do? You're going to do your homework. You're going to jump on Google and you're going to research the company, maybe even the person you're interviewing with. And you, if you're going live and in person, you're going to map your route and know how long it takes so that you can be sure you show up 5 minutes early. In the interview, remember, it's not an interrogation, it's a conversation to see if two parties are a match. So you can ask questions too. And in fact, you should, at the end of the interview, when the interviewer says, so, do you have any questions for me? You can say, why, yes, I do. And, you know, get out your notebook and take some notes. And then when the interview is over, you, the class act that you are going to send a thank you note. You're going to have that envelope with you already stamped, ready to go. And because you asked for a business card, you've got the correct spelling, and you will be remembered fondly. So that's it. Pop over to my other video about common interview questions, and you're going to crush this.